Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Inside Naughty Dog's level design. In this episode, we're exploring one of the most memorable and ambitious levels in The Last of Us Part 2, and I'm talking about downtown Seattle Day 1, which, in my opinion, also happens to be the most open and player driven space in the entire game. The level was designed by Michael Barkley, and he even wrote a great blog cover post that I'll link below, where he breaks down the thought process and goals behind it. While Barkley led the design, it's important to mention that a lot of talented developers worked across this level. In this video, I will break down how the team handled player agency, hard gating, landmarks, risk and reward loops, and other level design concepts, all while keeping the player immersed in a grounded, believable world. Let's dive into the video. At the start of downtown Seattle, Naughty Dog immediately introduces us to the Seravena hotel. Dina points it out to Ellie, and right away, it becomes your main landmark. Even when you're exploring the city, you can usually spot it in the distance. This is a smart level design, because landmarks give players a constant sense of orientation and direction, even when the map feels overwhelming. This hotel is not just a visual anchor, it also has a strong narrative purpose. It is where Ellie and Dina believe the WLF are located, so players always have a clear goal in mind. By combining story and gameplay in a single landmark, the designers make sure the player never loses track of what's important. But when you actually reach the gate, you cannot get through. This is where the designers use what we call a hard gate. You need to find gas to power the generator before you can move forward. Instead of just blocking the progress with an invisible wall, they give you a reason to explore. This pushes players out in the open downtown area and encourages them to discover side stories, hidden resources, and optional encounters, all while keeping the hotel inside as your ultimate destination. Once Ellie and Dina enter downtown, Naughty Dog gives the player real agency. With the map in hand, you're pretty much free to decide what to explore first, but always with a clear goal in mind: finding gas to power the gate and eventually reaching the Seravena hotel. What makes this space so effective is how secondary landmarks like the synagogue, the highway, or the ruins naturally pull your attention. You're pretty much free to wander, but these points of interest, or POIs, ensure you never feel lost, and every detour feels worthwhile. The synagogue, which is part of the main quest, ties the story and progression together. The bank, completely optional, challenges you with enemies but also rewards you with some resources and even a new weapon, the shotgun. The FEDRA truck filled with bodies reinforces the brutality of the world through environmental storytelling, which is critical in level design, providing backstory and atmosphere without needing direct dialogue. And then you have the music store, which works differently. Instead of resources or finding something dangerous, you get a quiet, emotional moment where Ellie plays the guitar. It is a perfect example of pacing, slowing the game down to let players breathe and connect with the characters. This balance of agency, reward, and guidance is what makes downtown Seattle such a standout level. It feels open and it gives you freedom, but you're never truly lost. The design always finds a way to guide you back towards your goals. So, how does Naughty Dog achieve this balance of freedom and direction? It comes down to how the space is structured and the details layer into it. First, there are boundaries. We have the collapsed highway, flooded streets, and black fences are believable obstacles, but they're also smart design. They limit how far you can wander and naturally keep you within the playable area. Then you got loops. Optional areas like the bank are built so that when you go in, explore, fight enemies, and collect your rewards, you always exit back to where you started. This makes sure exploration feels free, but never confusing. These optional areas can also be called dungeons, and they remind me of Zelda and how they manage to provide additional challenges, but at the same time, they reward players for exploring. On top of that, the designers use breadcrumbs, which are little pieces of information that points you towards the next discovery or objective. For example, inside the synagogue, You'll find a node that leads you to a safe house, which in turn points you towards Barco's, a store you can discover while exploring around downtown. Each step connects, rewarding your curiosity while quietly pulling you back towards the critical path. And finally, there are narrative layers. Downtown is not just one moment in time, it is a space built on top of different histories. You can see the city before the outbreak, the fall of FEDRA, the rise of the WLF, and the constant threat of the infected. Every building, every ruin, and even the FEDRA truck full of bodies tells a piece of that history. That layering of story into the environment makes the world feel tangible and alive. So, yes, downtown Seattle gives you freedom, but it's not random. Boundaries, loops, breadcrumbs, narrative layers, and the rest of the level design concepts are all working together to guide you forward while making every choice feel meaningful. This level is a fascinating example of how Naughty Dog handles open level design. It gives players freedom and agency through exploration, but it's never aimless. Landmarks like the Seravena Hotel guide you, hard gating keeps the progression clear, and the map encourages curiosity with every detour. At the same time, the design layers and risk and reward, pacing, breadcrumbs, and environmental storytelling to make exploration meaningful. Whether you're discovering resources, piecing together Seattle's history, or just enjoying a quiet moment like Ellie playing guitar, every choice feels intentional. This balance of openness and guidance is what makes this level stand out. It's not just a space to play in, but a world that feels alive, believable, and unforgettable. Have you noticed his design concepts and choices while playing The Last of Us Part 2? Which concept stood out the most to you? Was it landmarks, breadcrumbs, or maybe the way exploration feels rewarding? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please give it a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. I've also set up a Patreon for those who'd like to support the channel, stay up to date with new videos, and join our Discord community. You'll find the link in the description below if that sounds interesting. I'll see you in the next one.